an altered consciousness. You don't know where you are, time is off and everything. That is a sign that you're having a stroke, especially if it accompanies a severe headache. You got to seek help immediately. Welcome to Dayspring Life and Health channel. This is Dr. Otin coming to you again. I'm going to talk about 4 common signs of a stroke. When you see those signs in you, you are advised to immediately seek medical help or call 911. If you see it in somebody else, you definitely also need to take the same action. So if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I encourage you to subscribe and click or hit the like button and the bell button, and you will receive notifications when new videos are uploaded. Also, in order for you to subscribe, you got to go down, not on the screen, but go down and see where it says subscribe and click on that subscribe button. So what are the 4 signs of stroke? The first one I'll talk about is trouble speaking. Most of us are aware of that. If somebody is having a stroke, they have difficulty speaking. They have slurred speech. They also have trouble understanding speech. If you speak to them, you see that it is not easy for them to comprehend what you're talking about. So the first sign is speech difficulty, trouble speaking and trouble understanding speech. They also get confused. You can see confusion in somebody who is also who's having a stroke. Confusion. The other one is paralysis. That's a major one that is very common, a very cardinal sign of a stroke. It's paralysis or numbness of some parts of the body, usually on one side of the body, either this side or the right side. And it is sudden, just a short time, just 1 second, a split second, you see that you are unable to do the things that you are able to do on one side most of the time, on one side of your body. Sudden onset paralysis or numbness in the face, in the arms, and or in the legs. They could all be affected. Your face, half of your face, one arm, and also one leg on the same side could all suffer paralysis at one point. It could also be just one, maybe just the face numbness, or the leg that is happening. It doesn't have to be all, but it could also happen to all 3. Your face, your legs, and your arms. Somebody who is having numbness in the face is unable to smile. If you try to let them smile, you can see there's a droop. Their lips will droop, and that drooping is a sign that that particular half of their face is numb or is paralyzed, so they cannot move it. So that is a second sign of a stroke. If that is happening to you, you know you're having a stroke. You got to seek help immediately. If you can call 911, have somebody call for you. Don't try to drive. The third sign of a stroke coming on is problems seeing or problems with your vision. Either you have a blackened vision or a blurred vision or even double vision. You could have double vision because a stroke is happening. And again, it is a sudden onset. It is not your usual medical condition. You don't have any side or vision problems, and all of a sudden, boom, you can see nothing, or you have blackened vision, or your vision is blurred, or you're seeing double in just an instant. That is a sign of a stroke happening. It may continue or it may disappear, but if you see that, there's a time to seek medical help immediately. The 4th sign of a stroke happening, sudden severe headache. A sudden severe headache. You cannot tell how it came up, but just in one split moment, I should say, a severe headache hits you. You have a severe headache of unexplained source. Everybody knows their body, so you could tell when a headache is coming on and when something is all right. Some people have migraines, but this is nothing to do with any such things that you are used to. This is just a sudden onset of severe headache, sometimes accompanied by vomiting. You see vomiting right after that, or dizziness also happening right after the headache. All those are signs of stroke happening. And also after that, you may also see an altered consciousness. In other words, you may not be able to tell where you are. You may not be able to tell the times you are in. Your consciousness is a little bit out of place. You don't even know your name, something like that. An altered consciousness. You don't know where you are, time is off and everything. That is a sign that you're having a stroke, especially if it accompanies a severe headache. You got to seek help immediately. So that is your fourth sign of a stroke happening. Now, we want to go forward and talk about how do you recognize somebody is having a stroke? Because if you recognize somebody is having a stroke, then you can help them, because time is of the essence. The earlier you can get that person help, the more likely their symptoms can be reversed and the damage to the brain may be stopped. So think fast. A way to recognize that somebody is having a stroke, and hopefully if you recognize these signs, you can quickly call for emergency medical help. And again, think fast. So we're going to use that word, think fast. What do you do? Fast. F stands for face. So for somebody who you suspect is having a stroke, thankfully it may not be you, but if it's somebody you suspect may be having a stroke, observe their face, see if there's a drooping of one side, and the way to test that is to ask them to smile. If they try to smile, one side of the face may droop, which is a sign that they are having a stroke. So that's one. F stands for the face. A stands for the arms of the person. If you're observing somebody who is most likely having a stroke, ask them to raise both hands over their heads. Bring your hands either on top or above your heads. And if that person is having a stroke, more likely one hand will drift downward. The moment they bring it up, if they are able to bring it up, one may fall up. But most likely they cannot even lift one arm, even though you told them to bring both arms up over their heads. So that is a sign of having stroke. So that is A for fast. And the next one is S for speech. If somebody is having a stroke, most likely they cannot have effective speech. They may not be able to articulate or speak well. Tell them a phrase and tell them to repeat it onto you. You tell them something and tell them, say it the same way after me. And if they're having a stroke, most likely they won't be able to do that because their speech may be impaired. They may have slurred speech and they may not be able to make sense when you speak to them, or they may not even be able to understand because they are confused. So speech in FAST, S as in FAST, stands for speech. If you see that, then obviously call for emergency medical help. The other thing you want to talk about is time. Time is of the essence, as we said. Time is as important as anything. So in a person who is having a stroke, if you see all these three things, the facial droop, the inability to raise both arms over the head, and the inability or difficulty speaking or making speech or making sense of speech, if you see these three, then the time is what you need to save their lives. Call 911 if you're in the United States, or call your emergency medical help line and ensure that that person goes to seek help as soon as possible, because the earlier you get them into a hospital, the more likely they can be saved and their symptoms could be reversed. Some of the treatments for stroke can only be done within a couple of hours. If that window passes, it's not necessary anymore. They cannot be helped. So fast, think fast. Think fast. F for face, the face of the person. Are they drooping on one side? A for their arms. Are they able to raise both arms and keep it up over their heads? And S for speech. Are they making sense? Are they able to speak? Are they able to repeat a phrase that you tell them to? And then T, if any of those answers you found out from the first three as a sign of having a stroke, then the T means time is of the essence. Move quickly. Call 911. Do not let them drive themselves, because even though they may feel like they are able, a full-blown stroke may happen on the way. Moreover, even if the signs that you see disappear, it doesn't mean they are safe. They still got to go in and be checked and be treated as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers.